Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interactions. We have the 2020 feature, Sports with Brian Camp, and Entertainment News with DJ Pete. So settle in with coffee in hand, and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF, good morning, everyone, and welcome once again. Here we are here on another Friday morning, and I am so glad to be here. And welcome to the Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan, and I am going to be with you for the full hour. We're here every Friday at this time, and we get together, have a little coffee, meet you at work, and we discuss topics of the day and have a whole lot of fun. So glad to have you aboard with us. And it's Friday again, and we're headed for the weekend, and we're going to make sure that we're going to slowly but surely groove right into it because we have a full day ahead of us. Everyone is at work. I mean, depending on where you're listening or where you're watching, you could be a nighttime worker, daytime worker, afternoon worker, whatever it is. And then maybe you're at home just sitting around, just watching the show. But we're going to be here for the full hour, and we want you to stay along with us. We have a lot of things to do today. We're going to talk about a lot of topics, and for the people, for those of you who are here for the very first time, let me explain to you what's going on. We meet here every Friday morning at this time. It's 10 a.m. here in New York City. That's where we originate. So we're on the East Coast. You may be on another part of the coast somewhere else, and you look at your clock and look at it and see that's the time that we come on in your area each week. And so what we do here is that we open up everything to you. It's open forum discussion. That means you can talk to us live as we come along with you. And then I open up the show in a normal area, normal way. And then anytime you want, you can say hello. All you have to do is just type in. I'll see you right there on the big screen. And we'll entertain your thoughts and your comments. If you don't want to have a certain topic that you may want to talk about, we'll be happy to discuss it with you. And we'll do it all together. Now, those of you who are watching on Facebook, remember, we're here. And what we want you to do is tag all of your friends and let them know that we're out here. You can do that. You're on Facebook watching. And when they see that notification that will pop up, they will join us. All they have to do is press it and they'll take you right here to us. And you'll see me, you'll see your friends, and you'll see everyone else that's here involved. Now, we come on not just Facebook, we're also on YouTube and Instagram as well. And those of you who are watching us on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel and just press onto that red button where it says subscribe, right? And all you have to do is do that, and that will give you the opportunity to know that whenever we come on live, or if we so much as post anything, that will give you notification, providing you're online to see it. And you can click on to that notification, and it'll take you right to the website, and you'll see what's happening. Because sometimes people forget what time we're on. And if you happen to be on line the same time we come on and you're just not with us, that notification will pop up and you'll be right with us. And for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, all you have to do is follow us each week. Now, a lot of people like to just look at us and not say a thing. That's okay too. You know, if you want to do that, that's okay too. But we would love to say hello to you. And you can do that. We love to acknowledge you. But remember that any time you spend with us is very important to us. And even if you don't spend the whole hour, which we hope that's not the case, we thank you for that anyway. And so there you have it. Now, remember, all of the opinions and expressions and the thoughts and the ideas that are expressed on this show, the Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, and any other broadcast facility. And later on in the program, we've got a lot of things. We're going to do the normal things that we do. Later on, we have the 2020 feature. The 2020 feature consists of 20 past the hour with Brian Camp. He's coming along your way at 20 past the hour, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. We're going to link up with him. in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where he is, and we're going to have him here. So if you're watching us on any place but, let's see, Instagram, you won't be able to see him because we're not designed to work with Instagram in that fashion just yet. We hope for some reason that the people of Matter will probably change that situation and allow us to come to you that way, split screen or whatever. But if you want to see Brian when he comes on, we're on YouTube and we're on Instagram, on Facebook as well. You can see him there. Also, the second part of the 2020 feature, we're going to go to Portland, Maine, because in Portland, Maine, DJ Pete is out there. That's where he resides, and we're going to link up with him. You'll get a chance to see him and meet him and greet him as well. And he comes along and he'll have information, entertainment information. Of course, he'll recite all of those birthdays of people of notoriety who happen to be celebrating their birthdays this particular week. And of course, later on in the program as well, I have for you all of those things that come along in the movies, those Turner Classic movies. I have my picks of the week, and I am going to relay that to you because I know if you're a movie buff and you want to catch up on movies this weekend, I'm going to add a couple of movies to your bucket list of what to watch this weekend. So all of that is coming up, and it's you too. And we thank you so much for being along with us. So with all of that said, and all of that in mind, let's raise our cups, because what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So excuse me while I shoot up. Oh boy. Oh, that's marvelous. That's delicious. That is so great. I love that. Whatever your favorite beverage is this morning, whether it's coffee, cocoa, tea, hot chocolate, whatever it is, stay with us. Maybe have a few donuts on the side you like to share with a coworker or anything. Now, a lot of you people are at work right now. And so if you happen to be on your coffee break right now, in the corporate area, sometimes, I know they used to do it. I don't know that they do it anymore, but they used to have what they call the 15-minute coffee break. So if you still get those coffee breaks, take that coffee break, stay at your computer, enjoy the show, have your coffee. And when the coffee break is over in 15 minutes, you'll still be at your desk, still be at work, and you can do what they call multitasking. You could kind of enjoy the show and work at the same time. And of course, I'm pretty sure that your boss won't penalize you for that because you're at your desk anyway, right? And you're getting the job done. So as long as you can do that, that's great. Okay, so thank you again for being along with us. And for those of you who are watching and want to chime in on a conversation, that is good, because we would love to do that for you. But what we want you to do too, when you come in, to kind of give us a weather report in your area, wherever you are, because it's not the same where I am or where someone else is. Your weather report, it's not mandatory that you do it, but it's something that we like to ask you to do, so we can convey it to others. We want to share notes, compare weather forecasts. We got a pretty good weather forecast in New York coming up this weekend. And for those of you who live in New York, don't worry about it. Don't worry about giving your weather forecast. You are not required to do that, nor is anyone else, but you don't have to do that, because I will take care of that. I will read you that weather forecast. And we're going to do that in just a few minutes from now. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me try it one more time. Excuse me, this is good. This is good coffee today. Delicious. Ladies and gentlemen, you have 16 shopping days before that big day, that glorious day, that marvelous day, that Christmas day. 16 big shopping days. Now, a lot of people still shop for gifts for loved ones and friends. And if you're still into that, that's all you got to get is just those 16 days. That's coming up. And Christmas is just around the corner. We got rid of Thanksgiving. That's all behind us now. That's in the rearview mirror. And so Christmas comes around, and before you know it, it's New Year's, and the days go by so fast. That's what's going to happen. So you're getting ready for Christmas now. Christmas is going to be falling on an unusual day. you know, and that's why I look at it. I say Christmas is coming up, but the spirit of Christmas is not going to, for some reason this year, you know how you have that certain kind of feeling when Christmas Day come around, you have that certain kind of feeling. You're exchanging gifts. You're waking up early in the morning. The kids go down to see what Santa brought them this morning or that morning. And you have that spirit, right? For some reason, I don't know that the spirit is going to be that way this year. You know why? Because Christmas is falling on a Sunday. And last year it fell on a Saturday. And so it didn't really seem, as opposed to Christmas falling on one of the weekdays. And then you have that Christmas spirit, but it's falling on a Sunday. And by the way, since it's falling on a Sunday, I believe, but check with your supervisor on your job if you get that day off. I believe that's an observant day that day, even though Christmas is on a Sunday, but I think you're going to observe it also on that Monday. And I think it's going to be the same thing for New Year's Day, because obviously New Year's Day is going to be celebrated on a Sunday as well. So, but the good part about New Year's is that Saturday night is New Year's Eve. So you get a chance to and that would be the spirit right there. New Year's Eve falling on a Saturday night, so we look forward to that. We're looking forward to that because frankly, I am looking forward to when all of this holiday is over, New Year's kick in, and we look forward. And I like to refer to as to looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, because we come out of that darkness and into the light, and before you know it, summertime will be here. But let's not, rush ourselves just yet, because we didn't even get super cold weather yet. We're going to get a little chilly weather here in New York. And speaking of the weather, I have that weather for you. But right now, DJ Pete, he's here, and he just left his weather forecast. He's got his going right there, this morning. Does he? Let's see. Oh no, he didn't put it up there. He didn't put it up there. I guess when he'll come on, he'll have it for you. But right now, I'm going to give you my weather forecast coming out of New York City, and I hope you do the same thing too when you decide to sign in and get us give you a weather forecast as well. But here's mine. Right now, what we have presently, our temperatures, what we have presently, we have 39 degrees outside right now. Now, for the past couple of days here in New York, it's been kind of warm. But that's going to change, because this is the way it happens now. It's not a bad weather forecast. Last week, we had like a wet Saturday, and then it cleared up on Sunday. Now it's the opposite. So here's what it looks like presently at this particular moment. It's going to be sunny skies today. We're going to high near 45 degrees, and winds will be north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So therefore, you get that winter coat out. You're going to need it. That's obvious. You don't need the umbrella. Don't worry about that. And for tonight, Friday night, it's going to be clear skies, low 32 degrees. Winds will be north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now we look forward to Saturday, sunny skies along with a few afternoon clouds. Nothing bad, just a few afternoon clouds, but nothing to dampen the weather forecast for that day. No rain in the forecast. And we're going to have a high of 42 degrees, and winds will be northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Saturday night, if you go out on the town, you'll see it'll be cloudy skies, but it didn't say anything about rain at that particular point. Cloudy, low 36 degrees. Of course, it's going to be cold. Winds will be northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So that's kind of the norm. Now, as we wrap up our weekend, we get ready to wrap up our weekend. We go to Sunday, the day of rest after you come back from church, of course, if you do that, if you go to church. It's going to be cloudy skies. Now, this is where you're going to take the umbrella with you. Cloudy skies, periods of rain later in the day. And we might even have a little bit of snow mixed there. So what do we call it? Wintry mix, a little snow mixed in. We'll have a high 43 degrees. Winds will be east, northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain will be 80%. Now with that snow, don't worry, no accumulations are expected for that snow Sunday. So that's the weather forecast. That's what we have. And of course, as we flash back, again, we repeat that current temperature. We have 39 degrees and it's sunny skies here in New York City. Now, what about you? What about your weather forecast? You got one going for yourself? Okay. Again, if you're going to chime in conversation with us, we really would appreciate if you did that. And let us know what your weather forecast is. And we would certainly appreciate that. We've got so many things planned for you today in conversation. And let's see. Oh, let's see. Well, DJ Peter's out there. Brian Camp is also here. He's going to be here in about 5 minutes from now. And let's see. So he's saying, good morning, Pete. He's got the weather coming up. Just said that. He just mentioned it. He's got the weather coming up. And so that's great. That's great. So the gang is here. We're all set to entertain you. Now, all we need is for you to stay with us. And hopefully, again, if you're here for the entire hour, that would be great. If you can't stay for the entire hour, whatever time you can spare with us, it's totally great. Actress Kirstie Alley, and you already heard this story already, passed away. You know, Kirstie Alley is, she was one of the cast members of Cheers. She also was in Drop Dead Gorgeous. She passed away just Monday at the age of 71. Her children posted this online saying that after a short battle of colon cancer, so they confirmed that that's what happened. A short battle of colon cancer at 71 years old. Kirstie Alley, I loved her. Kirstie Alley was very funny. I loved her in Cheers. And then she did some dramatic stuff too. I've seen her do some dramatic films too. It wasn't the norm. It's not what you would actually expect out of Kirstie Alley. But then again, you know something? It's good that she does that, or she have done that, because you know this didn't make her a typecast actress. But anyway, we want to send our condolences out to her family, friends, and all of her co-workers, colleagues who have worked with her in the past. I loved her. And you know something, you know what I loved about Kirstie Alley too, besides her comic ability? I loved her voice. She had a voice. I loved her voice. She had this raspy voice. I love, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is about women with raspy voices, but I love the sound of their voices, you know. So you got Kirstie Alley with that raspy voice. Women like Demi Moore, she has that raspy voice. But anyway, that's the situation right now. So again, we send all our condolences out to her family. Now, we also want to, you know, send some best wishes out to Celine Dion, who's a fabulous singer. And you probably heard the news. This was released yesterday. I mean, she was sick for a long time, but didn't release it. She didn't come out until just yesterday about it. And Celine Dion postponed all of her tour dates already because she reveals that she has an incurable health condition. And that incurable health condition that she revealed was a diagnosis called stiff person's syndrome. You ever hear of that? Now that affects the muscles, tightens up the muscles, and gives you sometimes, in some cases, the ability to talk or speak or even walk, or in her case, sing, which is what she's known for, right? So she had to cancel all of her appointments. So with the SPS that she has, is a rare neurological, how would you pronounce that? Neurological disorder. And she did a video, she posted a video, I'm pretty sure it's online as well, but it was on TV where I saw it, and it was very emotional, and I could understand why, because this is who she is. This is who she is. This is how she makes her living. She knows nothing else but what she does, and which is saying plenty, because this is what she does, and she's very good at it, her singing. So she can't sing right now, but she says in the video that she is so confident with the doctors and the therapists that she has, that she could make it back in another couple of years. She wants to make it back on the stage. I want her back on the stage. She's only 54 years old. you know. So she still has a long way ahead of her, but I want to just keep my fingers crossed for her, pray for her, and hopefully that she'll be back in action, maybe even sooner than expected, because I do believe in miracles. I do believe that things happen, that miracles perform, and she would be back out there. So let's keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, and just keep her your prayers going. Keep rooting for her, you know. And of course, we want her around and make sure everything is okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, with that in mind, we are now going to make a transition. We're going to make a transition, right? We are going to do something that television didn't do in the early years sometime, but they had a hard time doing it. It's easy today. We're going to link up and go to Charlotte, North Carolina, with Brian Camp is right there with us, and he's here, and he is going to bring us the latest developments in today's world of sports, and he's already feeling that Christmas spirit right now. Look at him.
Yeah, it was my little Santa hat. I didn't have the lights. I have some lights that flashes. So I'll have that probably hopefully next week. So let's see what happens. I don't know. Carol Channing is also another person that had a raspy voice.
Yes, Carol Channing. Yeah, she did.
Carol Channing. Yeah, you know, she was a little bit older, but she had that. Well, she had that voice for a long time and everything. You know, so.
I used to love the way she used to sing that song that Marilyn Monroe made famous. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Yeah.
Diamonds best friend.
Good. Yeah. Good morning to you and to everybody else. Hope all is well. It's 51 degrees here in North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina, I should say, and it's going to go up to 58, but it's going to be cloudy and misty today. So it's going to be it's been like this all week. We sort of sun briefly a couple of days. When I said briefly, like maybe 10 minutes at a time, and that was it. You know, but it's great sleeping weather, and so hope all is well. Morning to Pete, to everybody else who's listening out there. When we get to some sports, there's a lot to talk about. Congratulations, New York Yankees signed their best player, Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge resigns with them, signed a 9-year contract worth $360 million. I think all 9 years are guaranteed. I'm not quite sure, but 9 years is a commitment. It's the biggest contract in Major League Baseball history. And he also broke the American League home run record early this season when he was playing, 62 home runs, and he was the American League most valuable player. So it's been a stellar season for Aaron Judge, and now the Yankees, I guess what they need now is pitching, because my San Francisco Giants was thinking about trying to sign him too, but they don't spend the money like the way New York does. So he'll be back in pinstripes for another decade or so. So also, congratulations. No, sad news. I'm sorry, sad news. Boxing, Mills Lane, Hall of Fame referee, who officiated the Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield fight, as they call it. That's when he bit off his ear and spit it out. Yeah, that was he refereed that fight. And he refereed also more than 100 other championship bouts. Died early this week at his home in Reno. He was known for his pre-fight catchphrase, "Let's get it on." You know, he had that deep that voice. Let's get it on. He suffered a stroke back in March of this year that partially paralyzed him and left him virtually unable to speak. He was a former boxer. He was a former welterweight boxer. He didn't have a long boxing career, but he also fought. He also in 1998, he crossed over into the mainstream with his syndicated court program. That's when everybody was having a court show, was a judge. And it was Judge Mills Lane, which ran until 2001. He also added in this place, Pop Culture as MTV Popular Claymation series. That's when you see the celebrity death match, and he was there. You know, the characters was made out of clay, and you know, it was just that was a hilarious show that they had on MTV.
It was kind of bloody. It was kind of bloody too in some cases.
It was bloody. Yeah, it wasn't for all kids. Yeah, it was bloody. It was very. It was very, very violent. Yeah, you know, but they were clay, puppet clay, you know, and you see the blood oozing out and everything. It wasn't meant for kids, but they showed it. People would do it. Shows would do anything for ratings. Ratings bring in revenue. Revenue brings in ratings. So that's how that works in this business. So there you have it. In other sports, in NFL football, which is also returning to politics, former running back Herschel Walker and a Republican challenger and former Heisman Trophy winner lost to Democratic incumbent Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock in the Georgia runoff election, ensuring the Democrats an outright majority in the Senate for the rest of President Joe Biden's term. So there you have it. But early news is some other news that occurred this morning that it's not sports related, but is the Democrats did not get full control. They have full control, but the senator from Arizona left the Democratic Party and now is an independent. We'll talk about that another time. So the senator did this days after the win. So we're sorry, but we don't have that. Controversial news in the news, and pretty sure you heard by now. Brittany Griner freed from Russia in a dramatic, high-level, and controversial exchange with the U.S. that brings the WNBA two-time Olympic gold medalist champion back home on U.S. soil, and after spending 10 months in detention. She was in like a penal colony. That's where they treat their prisoners like as though they're trash. But she's, you know, they made a swap for an arms dealer, and that's where it's drawing a lot of controversy. Now, Joe Biden and his cabinet, the NBA and the WNBA did their best to try to bring home everybody. The big controversy is why her? Why she's coming here? You know, why not Paul Wheeler? I agree, Paul Wheeler should be here, but we're dealing with a dictator over in Russia. He had the cards in his hands. He says it's either Brittany Griner or no one. So it wasn't a fair exchange. I give it to you, but there are people out there as we speak, and I'm gonna have to say this, predominantly the Caucasian race, who are not happy about this at all. It's not the president's fault. We all want Paul Wheeler to come back home. We want any American that's overseas to come back home. Doesn't make a difference what color you are. You're American. We want you back home on U.S. soil. Paul Wheeler is a hero. He's a Marine, and he's been there for close to 4 years, and he needs to come home. But for the outpour and the disgrace that some of Americans here are upset that Brittany Griner should not be coming home because they claim that she's not American. Got news for you. She is American. Just because she exercised her constitutional rights to say whatever she wants about our country. Hell, I got issues about this country. We all have issues about this country. America has not always been on the right side of everything. They haven't. But I'm a proud American, and she is too. So let's cut this crap. She's home. We want Paul Wheeler to come home too. We want everybody to come home. But to say that she should not be here because she's not American, she is American, she's home, we should be applauding that she's home. And congratulations to the people that were involved to make this here happen. So let's just cut this crap. Even where I live at right now in Charlotte, North Carolina, I'm going to say this, it's going to ruffle some feathers. There's people out here in the South still believe that the Civil War is still going on. I'll leave it like that. We're going to have a tribute to the Pearl Harbor War of World War II. Pearl Harbor is dear to me. My father was a World War II vet, and he was a Korean vet. He served in 2 wars, and it's time that we pay homage to the lost soldiers that we had in World War II at the Pearl Harbor. If you ever go to Hawaii and visit the site, it is a wonderful feeling. It's a moving, emotional feeling. But Private Robert Brooks, a tank driver in the 192nd Tank Battalion from Kentucky, had only been in the Philippines for 1 day when he was killed in an early afternoon on December 8th, 1941. That's 1 day after FDR declared war on Japan, who attacked our harbor in Hawaii. He was the first casualty, and he was an African-American. He was the first casualty who died in World War II for Americans. It's been 81 years ago, December 7th, that just passed, a couple of days ago. 81 years. We should not forget about Pearl Harbor. We know about 9/11 because it's still fresh in our minds. I wasn't born in 1941, but to lose 2,400 people is just heartbreaking. I'm not going to break it down of Army, Navy, and Marines, but we lost a lot of over 2,000 military personnel, and we just have to pay homage. And during his arrangements, that the funeral arrangement, he was recognized as the first to die. This day in sports, December 9th, baseball cut squad from 25 to 23 players and nationally continues to prohibit uniform numbers. They didn't allow numbers back then. 1965, Hall of Famer Frank Robinson is traded from the Cincinnati Reds to the Baltimore Orioles. 1984, the LA Rams, Eric Dickerson rushed for 215 yards for a season record of 2,105 yards. 1988, New York Yankees signed a 12-year television contract with MSG for $500 million. And in 2013, Mike Ditka, number 89 jersey, is retired by the Chicago Bears. In 2018, New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady, who's still playing, breaks Peyton Manning's record for most touchdown passes in the NFL at 582. He's well over 600 now. Birthdays, 3 birthdays. 1938, the late Deacon Jones, defensive end, Hall of Famer, was born in Eatonville, Florida. 1942, Dick Butkus, NFL Hall of Famer, linebacker and sportscaster, was born in Chicago, Illinois. And 1953, World Be Free, NBA guard, born in Atlanta, Georgia. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on an emotional and telling week that we had this week.
And I am so glad that Brittany Griner, she just landed this morning in Texas. So
San Antonio,
Texas, early this morning. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Texas is a different time zone. It's 1 hour from us.
1 hour.
Yeah. So so I'm glad that she's back. We didn't mention something. I don't know if you mentioned it, but last Sunday, I was watching is channel surfing back and forth for the football games. Of course, my game is the Minnesota Vikings. And at the same time, the Giants were playing. Now the Giants, they didn't even complete the game. They tied it up. And now they have to go back and play the game all over again. That was,
No,
you didn't mention
a,
that.
no, a tie is a tie. A tie is a tie. They do not make up that game.
But it was
If
a,
it was in the postseason, in the playoffs, then they play until somebody wins.
okay.
But they go into overtime. They give you 10 minutes. And
Yeah.
if nobody scores within 10 minutes, scores, then the game ends in a tie for the regular season.
And ties are rare. They're very rare in football.
Very rare. Yes.
But that was a nail biting. It was more nail biting than the game that I was watching because we were like between the Minnesota Vikings and New York Jets. We were seesawing, and I'm saying, "Oh God, I don't know what's going on." My blood pressure started to go up. Hey, can you imagine? Only a game, and my blood pressure goes up. And
Yeah,
then
it was the Washington Commanders and the Giants played.
yeah, and I looked at that game, I said, man, you know, they played them. I think both games were exciting games, but I think the Giants game was more exciting than the Viking game. I mean, I didn't know where they were going, but then they tied it up and boy, I don't know. Anyway, and the Dallas Cowboys won that night too, because you played later on that night.
Yes, 54 to something. Yeah, we scored 54 points.
Yeah, that was great. Okay, Brian. Thanks a lot. We'll catch you back here next week, all right?
Everybody enjoy your weekend. Pete, enjoy. Hope everybody stays safe, especially during this time of the year. It's a holiday season, and wear your mask and be safe.
Okay, take care of yourself. Talk to you later. Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He just completed his portion of the 2020 feature. And coming up just a couple of minutes, give me a couple of minutes, DJ Pete will be out here to wrap up the 2020 feature. He'll be here 22 the hour. And he'll come along with entertainment news and reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety who are celebrating birthdays this week. And it has been a heck of a week, I want to say congratulations. And this is another nail-biting game too. You know, politics, I say, I guess you can call it a game as well. But you already know that we went into the runoffs, right? The runoffs between Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock, right? So consequently, Raphael Warnock won the election for that. And so that puts him 6 more years back into office. He'll be doing 6 more years. You got him stuck, the senator of Georgia. And they played a heck of a game there. I was hoping, and I mentioned this last night on Talkback Live, I was hoping that when they did the concession speeches, particularly Walker, which by the way, I was surprised that he did. I was really surprised that he actually did concede. But, you know, he did. And I was just hoping that both sides, both of them, were going to acknowledge each other. And I was just hoping, well, the first one, Walker did the speech first. And I was hoping he would say something like, okay, with everything that he said, you know, don't give up, stick with the Constitution, don't give up on the Constitution, things like that. It was pretty classy of him to say things like that. But I was hoping he would have said, and we want to say congratulations to Raphael Warnock. He was the better man. He won, and we are going to do whatever we can to help him out. And I was hoping he was going to say something like that. I was just hoping, because that would have been a mark. It would have sent a message out to say, hey, you know, even though we're from different parties, we may not disagree, we may disagree or agree with each other, whatever. At the end of the day, it's still about the country. And I was just hoping that he would have said, you know, whatever I can do as a Republican, I still want to work with you to make things better in Georgia. I was hoping that he would say something like that. And I was hoping that Raphael Warnock would have said something like, you know, Herschel Walker, he's a great man. He put up a great fight, and we congratulate him. And I hope that we can get together. I was hoping they would say something like that, but it didn't happen. It would have been nice. It would have been nice because that would have set the tone right there for a lot of things that happened in the past. That would have set the tone right there. But it didn't happen. So what can you do? So we just move on and see what happens and see what we can do about straightening out this country. But congratulations, Mr. Warnock. Don't let the people down in Georgia. Make sure that you do the thing that you're supposed to do. And I'm thinking that he will, and he'll come up with great ideas and better Georgia's, better, for the state of Georgia. That would be great. Okay, so we just left Charlotte, North Carolina. You see how fast we can travel? And we could only do it in minutes. We left Charlotte, North Carolina. Now we are we're out there in Portland, Maine. And DJ Pete is here with us, and he has information. DJ Pete, you weren't here last week, but we thank you for being here with us today. How are you?
Good morning, Frank and Brian and everybody watching today. Sorry, I'm having trouble with this camera again on my computer. It worked, and then it didn't want to work anymore. So I don't know what's going on. I got to try to figure this out. But anyway, you can hear me, and that's all you need to know for today. So I got a bunch of great names this week in music and acting history. We're going to start off with Richard Wayne Penniman, also known as Little Richard. Born this week, December 5th, 1932, American musician, singer, songwriter, was influential figure in popular music and culture for 7 decades. Some of his popular tunes, Tutti Frutti, Long Tall Sally, Good Golly Miss Molly, and a lot more. He was one of the first black artists to cross over into the rock and roll sound of music in the 1950s, so, away from doo-wop and jump blues. Made a lot of appearances in TV and film also. Little Richard, great stuff here. Also, we have December 6, 1920, Dave Brubeck. Dave Brubeck, American jazz pianist, composer, often regarded as foremost exponent of cool jazz. So this was like a lot of the jazz from the 1960s. It had a really cool, smooth sound. I don't know how else to describe it. It's a style of 60s music in jazz that Dave Brubeck and other artists did. What Dave's top hit number of all time was Take Five. Really great tune by him. Let's see, December 7th, 1924, Boyd Bennett, American rockabilly singer songwriter. His hit tune was 17 with his band The Rockets. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Also, December 7th, 1910, Louis Prima, middle name Leo, American singer, songwriter, band leader, trumpet player. Influenced music he played was New Orleans jazz, swing music, jump blues, touched various genres throughout his career. He had his band Louis Prima and the Witnesses. I kind of like that name, the Witnesses. They had Keely Smith was his wife, and also sung in the band and did some work on her own. What's some of his great tunes here? Just a Gigolo. that I can think of right now.
Yeah.
Many more. Had a tremendous career, mostly playing a lot in the Las Vegas club scene back in the 50s and 60s here. Another great person who did a lot in Vegas was born December 8th, 1925, Sammy Davis Jr., American singer, dancer, actor, comedian, film producer, and television director. He did all of that. He was a member of the Rat Pack with Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop back in the day. I think one of his hit tunes was The Candyman on MGM Records in 1972. Yeah, Sammy Davis Jr., great stuff. Let's see, we also have Eddie Jones, also known as Guitar Slim, born this week, December 10th, 1926, American guitarist in the 1940s and 50s. Best known for his million-selling song, The Things That I Used to Do, on Specialty Records. Now, here's something interesting he would do. Excuse me. He adopted the name Guitar Slim and became known for his wild stage acts. He wore bright-colored suits and dyed his hair to match them. He had an assistant follow him around in the audience, up to 300 with like a 350-foot guitar cord for his guitar amplifier. So he'd walk around, throughout the audience here while playing. Occasionally rode on his assistant's shoulders, and even took his guitar outside the club, bringing traffic to a stop. So
They'll do anything for an act.
hey, you know what? Back in the 50s, a lot of great doo-wop bands and jumping bands did that sort of stuff. Bill Haley and the Comets, in the early days, started doing that. Funny antics on the stage. Yeah, it was a thing. It was a thing back then, and it's sort of carried on today with not just this style of music, but other forms of music where there's all these sticks or whatever they do on stage. Also, winding up this week, a special holiday for the U.S. is Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, December 7th, 1941. I got some numbers here. 2,403 Americans were killed that day, and just over 1,100 were wounded on the attack of Pearl Harbor. So I was never around then, but it was a day that I think about a lot. Especially with the attack. We're friends with Japan now. It's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, back then, different time, and I think something told me I think they attacked because they wanted to control the shipping lanes in the Pacific or something to that effect, but I can't remember exactly why. But anyway, yeah, Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, as they call it here, December 7th, 1941. That's all I got for you today, Frank. What do you got for birthdays?
Okay, politician Kirsten Gillibrand is 56 today. Actress Felicity Huffman is 60. Donny Osmond is 65, and a grandpa too. Welcome, Donnie, to the Senior Citizen Club. Actor John Malkovich is 69. Singer Joan Amistradin. Remember her? She's kind of a rock singer. She's 72 today. And Kenny Vance, musician Kenny Vance, is 79. The late Dan Hicks of his Hot Licks. I don't know if you remember the group.
I think I heard that name. I'm trying to recall who it was, but yeah, go ahead.
They were a good band. He would have been 81. He's no longer with us. Actor Bo Bridges is 81 too. Sammy Strain of the Imperials, of Little Anthony and the Imperials, and also he was with the OJs. He's 83 today. The following people are no longer with us. Jazz trumpeter Donald Byrd would have been 90. Actor John Cassavelli would have been 93. Actor Dick Van Patten would have been 94. Dick Van Patten was the one that played in Eight Is Enough, that little comedy thing they call. Comedian Red Fox would have been 100 years old. Actor Kirk Douglas would have been 160. American politician Tip O'Neill would have been 110. Actor Broderick Crawford, I don't know if you remember him. I don't know you're old enough to remember him, but he had a show called Highway Patrol, which is, by the way, in reruns in the morning. You can catch it in the morning. He would have been 111 years old. And actor Douglas Fairbanks Jr. would have been 113 years old. And actress Margaret Hamilton, do you know who she is?
No, I don't.
Well, when I tell you who she is, you'll remember she was the one that
Okay.
played the Wicked Witch on The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
She would have been 120 years old. And so there you have it.
Oh, great. That's awesome.
I take you back a long way.
Yeah, yeah. You find some names out there that
Yeah.
doesn't even get near my radar. But but it's all good. They're all great people and stuff here. For those that like listening to music, I do a radio show every other Tuesday night on WMPG Radio, 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm on radio airwaves online most Mondays, 8 p.m. to 10. Radio-airwaves.co.uk. I'm on. Find me on Twitter, Facebook to find out my schedule, because sometimes those radio show dates change around.
Mhm. Okay, there you go. And what do you got now? When you do the Tuesday show, you do it every other Tuesday. Do you have one coming up this Tuesday, or?
Let me see.
I want to stay on track with that.
Usually I did, but the person I alternate with, we swapped, and so the next Tuesday nights I'm on are the 20th and 27th of December.
Okay.
So we did a little swap there. That's why I say check on Twitter or Facebook to find out when I'm when I'm going to be on. So
good. Just want to stay on top of that. So are you ready for the holiday? Because I'm not. I'm going to be honest.
Oh yeah. I to be honest, I don't buy presents that much anymore. I would love to, but most of my family is so far away. It's just difficult to do anything right now. And getting together with them for any holiday is difficult. We just usually it's during an odd time, not a holiday or something, we get together.
Well, when the pandemic came along, that dampened a lot of things. A lot of family, and people are starting to get back into the swing of things now with their families because of this.
Yeah, the interesting thing is I'm fully vaccinated. A lot of people are, but excuse me, the infections and deaths numbers are still happening out there. With people who have other illnesses in them too. So I still wear a mask a lot of times when I'm out. Not just because of COVID, but a lot of my work in theater and venues like that is dust. And so just breathing the dust is bad enough.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you brought that up, because we got this new wave supposed to be coming on as the weather gets colder. I don't know. In certain places, the weather's still warm in certain places, but in certain places like here on the East Coast in New York, it gets cold sometime, and it's going to start to cold pretty soon here. And I know where you are. It's
yeah, and Portland is weird because we're on the coast, and sometimes in the winter and late fall it gets warm here.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the Atlantic Ocean influences the weather a lot.
Yeah.
Today, I'll just throw out the weather there quickly for Portland. Sunny, highs 41. Overnight lows into Saturday, early morning is going to be 21 degrees. Winds out of the north at 17 miles an hour. UV index 1 out of 10. Humidity 27%. So yeah, it's dry and cold.
Yeah. Boy, how's the lobster season out there? It's not, but lobster's not seasonal anyway. But it's
a business that is awesome. A lot of lobstermen unionized for I don't know how that works now.
And they
this
should, yeah, they
a
should.
couple years ago. They, it's a rough job. Any type of seafood that you're collecting can be a dangerous job out there in the weather and in the seas there. And lobster and any type of seafood here in Portland is great all the time. I remember a number of years ago, back around, I think it was, I don't know, 2013 maybe, or sometime around then, there was so much lobster that the price dropped so dramatically here. It was like $2.99 a pound. And
Hmm.
we were having it like 2 or 3 times a week.
Oh boy, God.
Yeah.
I tell you before I let you go, I used to have lobster, crabs, and shrimp and everything. I mean, I never starved when I was a little boy because I had an uncle who worked on the barge.
Oh, good for you.
And, he worked on, and the whole family said, he used to say, "Hey, come on down and pick up some of this fish," and blah 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 blah. And we had everything, any kind of seafood you can mention, we had it. We were rich with seafood.
Mm.
And back in those days, seafood it wasn't expensive as it is today.
Yeah, yeah. I my dad's cousin back, a long time ago when I was a kid, we would hang out with them a lot because him and his family lived nearby,
Yeah,
and they lived down in Old Orchard Beach, Maine, which is just it's a big tourist area here.
yeah.
And we would have steamed clams or fried clams all the time down there with
Boy,
them.
boy. So what does it look like on the horizon for next week? Do you see anything in your crystal ball?
It looks like I'm gonna be here, but if something comes up, I'll let you know.
Absolutely. Okay, Pete, enjoy the weekend. And I'm going to go out and get some lobster today. I don't know where, in Chinatown where I live, not too far. Chinatown, everybody has a Chinatown where they are. They sell the best seafoods out there. So
I'm sure they do.
maybe I'll take a trip out there today. Okay, we'll catch you back here hopefully next week. Other than that, you have yourself a great weekend.
All right, you too, Frank and Brian, and everybody watching today. Have a good day, and catch you next week.
Okay, thanks, Pete. Okay, that was DJ Pete, ladies and gentlemen, wrapping up his portion of the 2020 feature, giving you all of the information on entertainment and reciting all of those birthdays of notoriety. It's time to get to those movies that you love so much that we always talk about. Turner Classic Movies. I have a couple of movies that I wanted to convey to you that you could add to your bucket list of watching whatever movies that you want to catch up on. Here's a couple of movies that are classics. Let's go back to 1940. This one is called The Shop Around the Corner, starring James Stewart and Margaret Sullivan. That comes on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch that tomorrow night, Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then you have Days of Wine and Roses that dates back to 1962 with Jack Lemmon and Lee Remick. You can catch that, but that's on Sunday at 9:45 p.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movies. Great movies to watch. And if you desire, you can go on Turner Classic Movies and scroll down to the program guide. There may be other movies that you may see, that you may like, that I didn't mention because these are only my picks. And there may be others that you want to check out. And if you can't watch these movies in real time, you could always DVR them. That's a good thing to do. You can DVR them and watch them at another time at your very own convenience. So technology has been good to us in a certain way. In some ways, not so good. But this is a good way to keep in touch with all of your movies. And I have each week, all of the movies that you enjoy. I just try to keep things going, keep it rhythmic like that. Okay, so let me go back to those movies once again. That's The Shop Around the Corner, 1940 with James Stewart and Margaret Sullivan. You can check that out tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movie. Everything I give you is Eastern. And then The Days of Wine and Roses starring Jack Lemmon and Lee Remick. And that's Sunday at 9:45 p.m. And I hope you get a chance to watch these movies And again, if you can't watch them in real time, DVR them. That's going to wrap it up for me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to catch you back here on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we have Talk Back Live. Talk Back Live, Brian Camp will be here with me, the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And I hope that you'll be around too. We'll have a good conversation together. Other than that, I will make it back here next Friday at 8 a.m. No, that's 10 a.m. Eastern, and more of the Coffee Hour with Brian Camp and DJ Pete along with the 2020 feature, and Brian with sports and DJ Pete with entertainment news and reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I'll catch you back here soon. Take care of yourself. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.